guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, my name is Lisa and I'm a freelancer in Cornwall, and if you're not new here, then welcome back to the channel. Today is the 22nd of December, which means there are only 3 more sleeps until Christmas, and I am very much winding down for Christmas break. I have a few more days of work, so I'm working today and tomorrow. I say the word working quite loosely because I have purposefully worked really hard last week to make sure that the next 2 days are kind of easy. Like, it really is just wrapping things up. There's a few videos to edit, a few things to schedule, and a few clients to check in with just to make sure that they're happy with everything going out over the Christmas period. And then I'm off for 5 days, which I am so excited about. It's so nice to have a bit of breathing space and some time to spend with family and just celebrate Christmas in general and have that time off my business. Today is a Monday though, and we are technically working, so I thought to make things a bit more fun, I'm gonna hop in the car and head over to SeaSpace to do a few hours of working in their cafe. If you've watched some of my previous vlogs, you'll know exactly where SeaSpace is. It's one of my all-time favourite places to work when I'm not working from home, and I go there a lot, especially since I moved house. It's now only 5 minutes up the road from me, so I'm gonna head over there, get a nice coffee, set myself up and just do a few hours of work there, and then I can come home and finish up the day here. I also want to soak up every last second of my Christmas tree because I am heading over to my parents' house on the 24th, on Christmas Eve, and I'm staying there for I think 5 nights, and then when I get back it will be kind of almost New Year's, and I am one of those people that as soon as New Year's Eve hits, the Christmas tree is coming down, the decorations are being put away. I want to wake up on the 1st of January with not a single bauble, tinsel, Santa in sight. I want it to be fresh start, clean vibes, and that's just how I roll. So I pretty much only have like 2 more days to enjoy the Christmas tree, so I think when I get home I am going to work from my living room and just enjoy the Christmas tree. Thank you again for clicking on this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video or you've enjoyed any of my other previous vlogs in 2025. It really means the world if you hit subscribe. Enough yapping, let's head off to SeaSpace. So fun fact on my Monzo Unwrapped that does your kind of like stats at the end of the year, I was actually the 12th biggest spender at SeaSpace in the whole of Cornwall. I'm a bit gutted I didn't make top 10, I won't lie, but that just shows you how much I have been here this year, and I only moved here in June, so I think that's pretty good going, and I think I deserve some kind of like prize or free coffee. So SeaSpace, if you're watching this, I'm your 12th favourite person in Cornwall. It's such a gorgeous day today, but it's very windy and very cold. The beach looks so pretty. Maybe I'll try and squeeze in a walk after. I'm not sure if I'll have time. Also guys, we have passed the shortest day of the year yesterday, so it's only up from here, which is amazing. I definitely struggle with winter and the shorter days, so I'm very much looking forward to spring and summer this year. Beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Ooh, sunny. Should have put my sunglasses. My normal parking spot is not here. And perfect. We're here. I feel like I don't do enough vlogging in my car. It's just so much easier to talk in the car. I don't know why. It's 7:30 p.m. and I've just finished dinner. I'm now going to attempt to make this Christmas wreath cake thing that I was sent really kindly by a client. If you watched my last video, you will have seen me receiving this in the post, and basically in this box are all of the dry ingredients. It's basically like a sweet Christmas bread. It's going to have raisins in it and like a sugary, buttery filling. I'm not too sure what it's meant to look like because there's no picture that came with it, just instructions, but I've read the instructions and it seems relatively easy to make, so we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna do this in 2 stages because tonight I need to make the dough and then you have to let it prove overnight, and then tomorrow I can mold the dough into the wreath shape and bake it and then let it cool overnight. So it will then be ready for Christmas Eve, so I can take it with me when I go to my parents' house, because I'm not gonna be able to eat a whole one of these myself, but I thought it'd be quite a nice thing to take to my family. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of baking this evening and hopefully it comes out well. These are the instructions, and then I have just had to buy the fresh ingredients. So you've got 2 eggs, some butter and some milk. So I've just measured that out. And then yeah, they all come in these little bags that are numbered. So it looks like there's 4 different ingredients here. I don't know why, but I'm just not holding out hope that that is gonna taste nice. When it comes to baking, I'm not the best. When it comes to cooking, fine. I love cooking and experimenting with stuff, and I feel like with cooking, you don't need to follow a recipe. You can just go off your instincts, you can throw things in, you can try things, and unless you do something absolutely terrible like undercook meat or put in way too much spice or too much vinegar or something like that, you are gonna have something edible at the end of it. But baking is a bit more of a science, and I don't know if I'm very good at following the rules. What I've made definitely does look good, but I think I was struggling with the fact that all I had to go off were instructions and I didn't have any visuals, and I'm a very visual person. So if I'm following a recipe and I am deciding to do some baking, I like to have a picture of what it's meant to look like at the end. With this, I had no idea what it was meant to look like. I was literally reading the instructions and just going with it. So I don't even know if that's what the finished product is meant to look like, but it was called a Christmas wreath. So I kind of just plaited the dough and then put it into a circle like it kind of said. It didn't even really say to do that, I just kind of did it. Also, if you were judging me for rolling out my dough with a bottle of wine, then join the club. I was judging myself. I feel like whenever I do baking on this channel, I always find something that I don't own. Last time it was a whisk, and this time it's a rolling pin. So that is definitely going on my shopping list. That's almost the last piece of Christmas prep that I need to do today. I'm gonna box the Christmas wreath cake thing up and take it to my parents, and then that's kind of the last bit of Christmas prep that I need to do before tomorrow. I wrapped all my presents. I do need to pack my suitcase. That's the last thing I need to do actually, is pack my suitcase for 5 nights at my parents', and then we're ready to go. Happy Christmas Eve! It's officially Christmas Eve and I am just finishing my cup of tea and breakfast, and then I'm gonna hop in the car and drive home for Christmas. As I said earlier in the vlog, I'm driving home to the Lizard in Cornwall where my parents live. For those of you who don't know Cornwall well, I'm in Newquay, which is on the north coast, and then my parents live in the Lizard, which is the most southerly point of the UK. So they're kind of different coastlines, but it only takes about an hour and 15 minutes to drive, maybe an hour and a half in traffic. I'm so excited for Christmas Eve. It's honestly one of my favourite days of the year. I do think it is slightly better than actual Christmas Day. You've still got the anticipation and the build up and everyone's in just such good spirits. Christmas Day is great too, but it's more of a chilled day. We don't tend to leave the house unless we're like walking the dog or going for like a little Christmas stroll. It's very much like a open presents, eat loads of food, watch Christmas movies, lounge around kind of day. I know some people will go out for Christmas, or they will go and visit different family members throughout the day, or dress up at home, but we're more of the kind of chilled vibe. I feel like there's two types of people on Christmas Day. The people that will wear silly Christmas jumpers and just relax and like stay in their pajamas all morning, and then there's the people that choose a really lovely outfit for Christmas Day and they dress up and do nice makeup. That's not me, that's not my family, but each their own. When I was growing up, we had the most magical Christmases, and it's funny now because you kind of know as an adult that that actually was down to your parents putting in all of that hard work to make that Christmas morning so magical. And my parents definitely did a good job of that. I lived in Falmouth growing up, and on Christmas Eve we would always walk into town and head to the moor, which is basically like the town square, and listen to the carol singers, get a pasty for lunch, and then come back home to watch Christmas films. For Christmas Eve my mum always cooks up a big ham, and then we have that with like cheeses and pickles and other like savoury stuff. And then on Christmas morning we'd come down and there would be presents everywhere from Santa, and there would be a snowy boot print by the fireplace. I used to say to my dad, why doesn't the snow print melt? And he'd be like, well, that's what the snow's like in the North Pole. It's magic. It doesn't melt. It stays all year round. And I just lapped that up, honestly. Loved it so much. And yeah, Christmas was so magical, to the point where when I became an adult, it almost felt a bit anticlimactic because you kind of see behind the curtain when you're an adult, and it's just takes away a little bit from that magic that you had as a child. But that's only testament to how magical it was made for me as a child, if that makes sense. I do feel like in the last few years though, I've started to really appreciate Christmas again. And I know if you've seen my last vlog, you'll be like, really? You just said you were being a bit of a Grinch this year and you weren't going to get a Christmas tree. I think that was more to do with the fact that I'd had a really busy month and just moved house and spent a lot of money on furniture, and I was like, do I need to buy a Christmas tree? Do I? But now that I have, I am so happy that I did. And I think Christmas for me now is a bit more about just appreciating the time off and also appreciating that quality time spent with family and friends. This is actually going to be my first sober Christmas as well. And I don't think I've actually spoken about this online at all, because to be honest with you, I don't want to make it into like a big thing, because I do feel like when it comes to lifestyle choices like drinking alcohol or not, that's each their own. I never want to be someone who sits here and kind of like preaches at people, or even set myself an unrealistic expectation that I will never drink again. But basically, long story short, the last time that I drank alcohol was on New Year's Eve last year when I was in America, so the 31st of December 2024. And I woke up on the 1st of January in America still with the worst flu I've ever had. And obviously I'm not going to be drinking alcohol when I'm feeling that rough. So that kind of wiped me out for a good 2 weeks. And then I came back to the UK and I was in a bit of a crossroads position, I think, where I had left America, I'd finished my traveling, and I was coming back home to move back in with my parents at age 29. I didn't have a job. I wanted to start this freelance business, which I'd launched in America, but I only had a few inquiries at that point and I didn't have a list of clients. I wasn't earning money. I was still living off my savings, and my savings weren't going to keep me going forever because I was just spending them and not recuperating them. So it was kind of crunch time to be like, okay, we've had our fun, we've done our traveling. That was amazing. And it gave me the breathing space to put the wheels in motion for this business. But I now needed to kind of laser focus on finding clients and making this a success. So naturally I decided that I was just going to do dry January like everyone else and have a really focused month. And also I didn't have the money to be spending on going out and drinking, nor were many of my friends at home in Cornwall doing that, because a lot of them were starting families, they were pregnant or having children, and I just felt like my friendship group weren't in that season of life, and that made it very easy for me not to drink. So after doing dry January, I kind of felt the positive effects already, like both mentally and physically. I felt a lot more clear-headed, I felt more positive and optimistic, and things were starting to move forward in my business. So it kind of continued for a couple more months where I was like, okay, I haven't drank. Is it a thing yet? I don't know. Am I sober? I don't know, I'm not drinking at the moment. That's just what it was. I wasn't really putting too much focus onto it. And then I booked a holiday to Cyprus with my cousin and his girlfriend who lives there. And I think that was the first point where I was like, okay, are we gonna drink on this holiday? Because I would always normally have a drink when I go on holiday. And we were definitely going to be doing stuff that I could drink and, going on dinners and nights out and stuff like that. So I kind of made a conscious choice to maybe test the water and see what it would be like to try and do this holiday sober. And I managed to actually not drink on that holiday. Everyone else around me was drinking, but I found it quite easy once the decision had been made. I think that's the part that I would find the most tempting, is when everyone else orders a drink. You're like, oh, am I missing out? Am I missing out? But once you just say, no, I'm just going to order a mocktail, and then all the drinks arrive and you're drinking your mocktail, I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like, the choice has been made now, and that's that. And I kind of liked that I could know that the next day on the holiday I wouldn't be hungover. That was a totally new concept to me, not feeling hungover the next day. So I just really enjoyed that and continued to not drink on that holiday. Came back and I thought, okay, maybe this is more of like a lifestyle change than a short period of time, because I was just finding that I was so much more productive. I was getting up earlier in the mornings. Even small things like my skin just felt a lot clearer. I could notice that my face was less puffy, but the most transformational part of this was definitely the mental health benefits. So I pretty much just continued that throughout 2025, and here we are, it's December the 24th, and yeah, I still haven't had a drink in 2025, so it's looking very likely that this is going to be a sober 2025. The only thing I have really missed is mulled wine. I absolutely love mulled wine. That's just my story, that's just my experience. This is not to slam anyone that drinks or for me to be sat here and telling you that, that should be a goal for you in 2026. Each to their own, honestly. Like, we only live once and you've got to enjoy yourself. And trust me, in my 20s, I did just that. I was on all the nights out, did all the girls' holidays, had all the amazing memories and also all of the most terrible hangovers. And I just feel like in my 30s, I'm just not in that place anymore, and that's okay. But it's also okay for you to enjoy alcohol at Christmas, and no judgments here. This is definitely a judgment-free zone. But I just thought I would share that because it is something that has played a big part in my 2025, and going into 2026, I plan to continue. Like I said earlier, I don't want to set an unrealistic expectation for myself, so this is not me here sat saying I will never drink again in my life, because that is unrealistic and quite an extreme, especially at the age of 30. There might be one occasion in the future where I feel like, okay, I'm going to make this informed decision for myself that I'm going to have a drink tonight, and that's fine. But as it stands, I am sober and I'm not drinking at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it. And if you are thinking about it and you have been for a while and you're just not sure, maybe it is a good idea to give dry January the test run, because a lot of people don't drink in January anyway, and I found it very easy to do that and then kind of like go from there, because you've already got a month then that you haven't drank. But again, this is not me telling you what to do, and you can make your own decisions. Anyway, I wasn't really planning on getting into that today, but here we are. I am going to finish my cup of tea now, and then I'm going to pack the car up with all my gifts and my suitcase, and then we're going to drive home for Christmas. Wait, before I go, tell me you were put in charge of buying the Christmas cheese without telling me. I need to pack all this up. But what do you think, guys? I was put in charge of cheese this year, and best believe I went to town. There was only 3 of us, so this is a lot of cheese. It's the last day of my advent calendar as well, which means I can open the big one, which I think is, oh, it's a heart. How cute. I knew it was going to be a big Lindor because the door was bigger. Cute. not to forget a pasty! Morning guys, it's 10 a.m. on Boxing Day. I'm sorry, I didn't really pick up the camera yesterday on Christmas Day. I was just really in the moment, enjoying the time with my family, but I had the best Christmas. It was really lovely, relaxed. We had our Christmas dinner, we watched Christmas films, we unwrapped presents, all the standard stuff really. But I can't tell you how cold it was yesterday. It's really, really cold today still. But yesterday on my phone it said it was 6 degrees, feels like -8, and I didn't really go outside yesterday, I'll be honest. We had a very cozy Christmas indoors. I do feel like a Boxing Day walk is essential today though, just to blow the cobwebs away. I have eaten my body weight in cheese and chocolate in the last 24 hours, so I think a nice refreshing walk is definitely on the cards today. And then just more relaxing, I think, watching a few more Christmas films that we didn't tick off and eating more cheese. We're braving the cold again and heading out to look at some Christmas lights. Let's go!